The FIFA World Cup's nearly 100 years old. It's had 8 winners. We're 30 years old-ish and we've had 4 winners. Now, South Africa and New Zealand are starting to distort that a little bit. And that's great too, because rugby is religion in those 2 countries, and that's fantastic. And they are a great example and a great shining light, I think, for those nations that are trying to emerge into rugby. So we want to keep both. We want to have these great teams and the great heritage we've got, but also have that inspire other countries.
So would you think about having the 6 nations become 7, 8, 9, 10, or the Rugby Championship starting to include the likes of Fiji, Chile even as well?
We'd love to, and look, rugby's traditionally had a couple of closed competitions, and that's great, because again, it's created great value, great rivalries, fans love it in those particular countries. The challenge over time is how do you use that, again, as a driver for growth. What we've just announced this week in the kind of Nations Cup concept builds on that, gives more countries the opportunity to play against those teams more regularly, and then that will put pressure in a good way on those organisations and those competitions, I think, to expand over time.
How do you grow the sport a little bit further? One of the key things is trying to get more nations, I suppose, into a tournament like the World Cup. 2027 has already got 24 teams, right?
Yeah.
So more growth, more inclusion.
Absolutely, that's really important, because what we know is that if we give more teams the opportunity to be in the really big pinnacle events, that brings investment, that brings government agencies and those individual nations investing behind rugby, men's and women's, 7s and 15s, and that's a really important opportunity. So we've got to create that pathway for more nations. We also know that when teams play in World Cups, and we've seen unbelievable engagement from fans from Portugal and Chile, for example, in this tournament. You know, in Portugal, first time in a generation that they've been in the World Cup, Chile first time ever. That's what's inspiring boys and girls in those countries to pick up a rugby ball, go and play in a club, play in school, grow the participation base for our sport. And we believe that our sport teaches, you know, great life skills, creates lasting friendships and bonds. So, you know, if we're going to spread rugby more globally, these big moments help us do it, but actually, ultimately, it's all about what happens on the ground in different places.